What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, and the overall market. I'm going to break down what's happening for next week as we have CPI coming out, some big earnings towards the end of the week, not to mention big catalyst for NIO and the market. But just note that I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Webull link. If you deposit any amount of money, you're guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500 or more, you're guaranteed 20. If you deposit $25,000 more, you get 75. The offer ends in just 4 weeks. Anyways, now let's talk about the market. So NIO got this dip that we were talking about. I was expecting it to come very close to where this 50 EMA would be. And I said we could attempt to rebound off of that. We dipped a bit only to rebound, and we managed to close above our 20 EMA, which is a good sign for next week. That makes me suspect that there's a good chance NIO might try to push with Tesla, as Tesla has the robotaxi event, and NIO might try to push back up to $7, trying to get this nice wick right here. This was a nice liquidity grab, and we're trying to rebound. So I anticipate some more upside for NIO, and I think this may try to push up higher. I also think the broader markets are trying to push now. We should be looking for an attempt to recover, but like I said in my earlier videos, I don't think this recovery move is going to last forever. I think that this is just the market setting up for another potential repositioning before we see a much bigger drop towards the end of October, approaching November. I still believe that's going to happen, but for now, the market remains a little bit more bullish. So what catalysts are coming out for next week? As a reminder, on Monday, we just have a couple of Fed speakers like Bowman and Kashkari. On Tuesday, we have very minor data. We just have a couple of Fed speakers again. For Wednesday, we're going to be looking at more Fed speakers, and we have the FOMC minutes coming out, so it's going to be very important. For Thursday, we have CPI data coming out. That's going to be very important as well. And finally, for Friday, we just have the PPI reports. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we have big data coming out. Monday and Tuesday are a little bit more quiet. On top of that, when it comes to earnings, we have very, very minor earnings coming out for Monday through Thursday. We just have a couple of them, such as Domino's Pizza, Delta, and a few more. But then by Friday, it's also going to be very important because we have JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and BlackRock all announcing their earnings. So we'll see how that goes, at least for the markets. We have CPI that Thursday, and Fridays when we have PPI and these big bank earnings. So I can't wait to see what that leads to. Now, some big news came out. The port strike has ended as workers agreed to a tentative deal on wages and contract extensions. So they're extending the contracts through January 15th to provide more time for them to negotiate. This is big news because it's ending the strike that happened in the East Coast and Gulf Coast of the United States, which disrupted supply chains. So that's why the market tried to rebound. Today we saw Tesla bounce. We saw the whole market attempt to rebound. Good news has come out. There are some tensions going on involving Iran and Israel. President Joe Biden did speak about that. He signaled opposition towards Israel striking Iran's oil facilities. He mentioned that. We'll see what they end up doing. I don't really want to make assumptions about anything, so we'll see what they end up doing in retaliation. I also want to mention that when it comes to other pieces of news, there's a lot of other things that are going on right here involving Tesla. Don't forget that on October 10th, we have the robotaxi event. That's going to be another big date. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention one thing. When it comes to the whole Israel situation, this history goes back a while, right? No one is saying that, or I'm not saying that this started from any side or the other. I'm just trying to be unbiased when I say what I say. I'm just talking about the current events, and that's it. So I just want to clarify that. But that's it, at least for now. As far as the market goes, we're very close to extreme greed. We're seeing a lot of greed right now. We're seeing indicators once again becoming greedy as buyers are stepping in. Momentum is at extreme greed almost. We're seeing the puts and call option ratio still at greed. We'll see how this shifts, at least moving forward. This is still at that lower phase. And besides that, I'm not really seeing much else. The VIX is dipping a little bit. We'll see how that ends up going. I still think there's going to be a big dump coming to the markets as we get closer to the end of October and also in early November. I think it could continue into that time frame, considering that we're still close to all-time highs and we're in the first week of October. So I still suspect that's going to happen. So I think we're setting up for a very, very nice looking opportunity. I'll talk more about that a little bit later on. As far as NIO goes, it's still holding up very well after deliveries, breaking their quarterly record for the entire history of the company. We'll see how things go, at least from this moving forward, but not bad. 91.5 million is the volume. That's well above average. JP Morgan has given us an overweight rating, not to mention other changes. The price-risk ratio is on an uptrend. It did tip a little bit after the dip yesterday, but we'll see how it goes. And then other factors out there, if you look at how things are moving, Mondays tend to be a little bit weaker, but Tuesdays and Wednesdays tend to be stronger. We need to see more volatility around 1 p.m. So we'll see how that goes as well. So that being said, let's talk about the charts just very, very quickly. I'm going to be very brief in this video. So for NIO, It looks to me like it's trying to rebound. Going into early next week, I think there could be an attempt to fill this imbalance up here. I think we could be looking for an attempt to get back up to 7. If we fail to hold at 6.75, we could dip back down to 6.4. I'm not really counting on that. I think the odds favor us trying to push up for 7, and we'll see how things end up going. For other factors out there, I just want to mention that SPY is basically doing a decent job at holding up. So the 4 hour is looking more bullish as we got this bullish looking bar, and I think it's going to try to fill this imbalance. So I think this is going to try to push it for 574 or higher by early next week. Now CPI is going to be another factor. We'll see if we break all-time highs or not on this pump. We managed to hold our 50 EMA, and we saw buyers return after the port strike news and the fact that unemployment was below expectations. The market liked the unemployment data, got a nice push here. Now it's trying to make a recovery move, so it could continue to push a little bit higher from this point on. But like I said before, I'm still a big bear for the end of October, also approaching November. There's going to be a lot of downside coming. We still have these gaps to fill on SPY down below. So, for example, there's one all the way down in the 530s, like all the way down below. I could show that in another video, but for now, I just want to mention that I think there's going to be a big rug pull coming as we approach the end of October, going into November. But for now, the market remains bullish, so we could attempt to push closer to CPI. For ES, we're looking a little bit more bullish right here. We could be attempting to push for the 5800s. This may try to approach all-time highs next week. It looks bullish right now. So look for a gap down and then continuation higher, and I think this could attempt to push from this point on just a little bit longer, but we will be coming back down to fill this gap down here sometime in October, so we're not ready yet, possibly as we get closer to the election, so it's being a little bit delayed. Nvidia got a nice bounce after we got a nice jobs report. We're going to be looking for this imbalance above around 126 to 127.5. I think we could be pushing higher, so watch and see if this ends up holding up. So watch and see how that goes. For Bitcoin, we're trying to push higher. We're looking for basically 62,600 as our resistance. If we manage to break this, we could just continue to push up for 63,300. If we reject here, we could be dipping back down to 61,800. If that dips, if we lose that, we're going to dip lower. I see upside potential, so we'll see how things end up moving from here for 63,750. For other factors out there, we're looking at Tesla. Tesla's looking more bullish. If we manage to hold above 250, we're looking for a bigger pump for this 256 area. It may attempt to rebound off this dip because of the fact that we have the robotaxi event. There may be a lot of buyers that try to step in, and the full measured move is still yet to come all the way up to this 270 area. So I think Tesla may start a rally next week as we're looking more bullish, and we'll be looking to see how it ends up moving from there. For other factors out there, we have NQ. NQ is attempting to rebound as well. We're looking at this imbalance up here around 20,300. Could be trying to push higher for that. QQQ, same thing, is trying to push higher. We're forming a nice cup right here. We're going to be watching to see if we can break 488. If we manage to break past that, we still have this gap to fill in the 495 area. I don't think we fully filled this gap, so it could attempt to try to get back up to these highs if we continue. So the market's back to bullish for now, but I still think we're going to be dumping as we get closer to the end of October. Apple's looking more bullish. We're looking for basically 228 and 230 as our resistance areas, so we will see how things end up going. With that being said, guys, that's it for my video. I just want to thank you guys so much for listening. I think that NIO is also going to attempt to rebound with the markets, and I think that Tesla could be a catalyst to help it, alongside other things like that. The the share price has been doing really well ever since we got a strong delivery, so let's hope it continues with this momentum that it's building. With that being said, I thank you for listening, so have a great day, guys, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one, going into Sunday. So I'm not going to be posting a video tomorrow. I'll be back on Sunday. Until then, take care and peace out.